Welcome back to my channel, guys. I am here today to talk about infidelity in a marriage. Should I stay or should I go? Let's talk. Can any of you guys remember the first time that someone cheated on you? We call it cheated, we call it infidelity, adultery, we call it, there's so many different terms, but we all know it's the same feeling when we discover that that has happened to us. You begin to feel all types of ways. You feel, what happened? Am I not good enough? Why did you do it? Why couldn't you have talked to me about whatever it is you were going through? That's just the tip of all the different things that's going on in our heads, or in your head, for whoever is viewing this video. And it's such a painful reaction that we have when we found out, whether it be we find out on our own or someone comes to us and tells us what's really going on. Our partners have chosen not to say, not to share, and it just catches us off guard. It's very, very painful. And so when you're in a marriage and it happens, how do you react? How do you respond? The first thing you're going to want to do, of course, is you want out. Staying in that marriage would equal to, or should equal to, the partner getting whatever help that they need. Counseling, and you name it, like intense counseling, because there must have been a reason that led to breaking those vows. And I mean, it's painful just to relive the thoughts of your partner just, being with someone else other than you, because especially when you know that you're being faithful, and the marriage bed is undefiled, and if you step out and someone enters into that, brings somebody else in your marriage bed or somebody else's bed somewhere else, you're just thinking about all types of thoughts. Like, I mean, you bring on all types of things on you, like it's your soul ties, and there's so many things associated with intimacy that you really have to protect yourself from. And this is why, if you're a Christian, you know how serious it is to take keeping yourself pure. You have to really take it seriously, because when you get connected, it's not a joke, and the connection should be between you and your spouse. So now we're moving on to how to get over this betrayal of trust and breaking the vows, and just this messing up the family, the kids. The partner is struggling with getting past this phase, this painful phase of her life or his life. You have got to look at the willingness of the partner to put in the work, to do the work for change to come, because nobody can just get up and fix themselves. Okay, I hurt my partner. Sometimes when you relive the reaction of the partners, how they felt and how they acted after the discovery of the infidelity. Some partners vow that I will never cause my partner to hurt like that ever again. But is it true that that's possible? Is that really possible without the actual work? And especially when people struggle with addictions, because some people do have addictions. They might be afraid to share it, might be afraid to say it, but a lot of people have addictions, and so they get themselves into all types of problems because of that. And so it's important to do the work, and if you're planning to work out the marriage or the relationship, then it's important that there's not a pattern of the same behavior, like it happening again and then keep over and over like a pattern. If you have said that you want your marriage, you have to put in the work, and you have to show the actions that you're allowing your partner to feel comfortable. You are checking in. That's one of the ways that you can definitely bring reassurance to, I'm done with that life. I messed up, but I'm not going back to that life anymore. You also don't want to live in a world of fear where every time they leave the house, you suspect them of everything, because then they're going to be then they're going to feel like they're in prison. They're going to feel like I'm making so many steps ahead and then I'm not being trusted, and then they feel like giving up. And it's not a good feeling when you're putting in work and then you're hearing that you're doing so many wrongs. You know, if the actions are matching what they say they're doing, their work, and they're going out and to work and they're checking in, and they're, you know, because for a short period of time, they're going to also have to be patient with the partner that is getting over the partner that is getting over what they have done with infidelity and adultery and all of that. They have to be patient because they put their partner at risk for all types of things, emotionally, physically, spiritually. They're drained. So the grace is needed in this moment. They need to understand that I need to be understanding. I need to be empathetic, because if the shoe were on the other foot, how would I feel? And one thing that's for sure is that there is a God, and He's powerful, and He's all-knowing, and He can do above all we can hope, think, or imagine. And therefore, if you're struggling with letting go, unforgiveness, resentment, the inability to trust again, you can go to Him, and you can continue to go to Him, and you can continue to go to Him, because it's going to take more than one time going to Him and praying and just asking Him to just release all of the unforgiveness, everything that you're feeling from your heart. And some of the things that can help you to forgive is when you think about different scriptures, like 1 Corinthians, when you say forgive without keeping records of wrongs. You to be honest, as humans, it's hard to really forget as humans. But when we say don't keep records of wrongs, it's more like stop throwing it up in the person's face and remembering it and saying, hey, this is what you did and this is why I am. Because those type of games or those type of behaviors will only lead to think the matters, it won't work, the relationship not working out. So when that 1 Corinthians love says that be patient and kind, and not keeping records of wrongs, and not puffed up and all of that, it really means it. And sometimes the other thing you can reflect on is, what have I done here that I've been forgiven for by God? I've done so much of the how many years that we've been on earth. I've done so much that I really don't deserve forgiveness, because I've shared Him with so many different people, and sometimes forget about Him I forget to read my word, I forget to pray, I forget to do so much that I'm supposed to do. And yet He continues to just pull me in and just love me every time I come back to Him, and every time I remember Him, which we're really supposed to be spending intimate time with Him, and so much more we're supposed to be doing, and we don't do it. So sometimes we have to keep those things in our minds, like, I really need to show some grace to my partner, especially when you see them doing the work. It's not conditional, but especially when you see them doing the work and there's not a pattern of behaviors that is like you can't trust them. You actually see them putting in the work. You have to give credit where credit is due. So if you love a partner who has been unfaithful, love covers a multitude of sin. And you can ask God, especially in a marriage, you ask God to heal, you ask God to restore, you ask God to rebuild. There's a story in the Bible, Hosea and Gomer, and God even sent, I believe it was Hosea, back for Gomer, who was unfaithful. And so those things are showing you that God can make your marriage even stronger than it was in the past, with the work being done. However, it's a decision of yours, but it's important, if you love that partner, for you to do the work with the partner, and understand that forgiveness is important, and true and real forgiveness. If a partner continues, if you actually see that person continuing to have a pattern of the same unfaithful behavior, and you're taking it lightly, when even the Bible has given you reasons that you can. Sometimes it's fear of you have so many things together, so many ties, like, you know, things of this world, like you might have a home together, you have different events that you go to for the children's sake, and so many different ties. And, you know, personally, I'm not here to judge anyone. Everyone has their own, you know, decisions to make, or, you know, but, and I, you know, I always say, sometimes we talk very strong and then we can end up in the same situation. So I take it literally when the Bible says to not judge others, because the same way you judge, you might end up in that same situation. So I never look at anyone's situation and say they're dumb, or that's nonsense. Or I pretty much, you know, pray for the situation and hope that God will help them through it. So just be mindful that there's no one here on earth, or nothing here on earth, that you should idolize, that if it's causing or costing you your peace, and they're continuing to be disrespectful in that bad behavior, bad actions, and just unfaithful, you do have other options if that's the case. But just believe in the God that you serve if this person wants to be a better wife or husband after being caught in infidelity. So the answer to the question, should I stay or should I go, when it comes on to infidelity in a marriage, I would say that you have to follow your heart, and you have to talk to God about it and decide on your own. And we're not here to condone anyone that's in a relationship that someone is repetitively being unfaithful. But God is the true God of restoration, of healing. I love him. He's amazing, man. He can fix anything that seems like it's hard to fix. But also be wise, be smart. If you see patterns and this person refuses to do what's right, then you have a decision to make. And that decision should be through fasting and prayer. And then you move forward according to what God is telling you. And so that's where the video ends. God bless you. One love, peace and love.